on a tomato challenge to see this is why we should just use, peat-free compost, because it's no different to what you buy normally.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's also really important.
So that's my challenge at the moment, is to get this no dig off the ground.
Yep.
So it's not just for me because my back's dodgy.
Yeah.
But like for classes R1 and 2, it can't pick up a big spade or a fork and dig the ground over.
No.
They can still garden.
Yeah. No, I'm totally with you. And also, right, you know about the peat-free thing, yeah? Because obviously, I've been doing this school plan thing.
Yeah.
And I've been banging to this peat-free lesson that I've been doing. So important to teach kids that, because I don't feel like, Olive would never know what peat even is, do you know what I mean? Or peat bogs or anything like that, and what the damage we do to our environment from having to dig that up. And, we want children to care about the planet, right? And they care about the all the animals. Everyone talks about the whales and everything in the sea and the plastic that goes into that, right? But we're not even thinking about our own islands.
That's right. I don't know if it was there. It must have been there when you come in March. But we got a big pile of chippings that we did last year's Christmas trees.
Yeah.
So that is then going on the no dig bed. So it's like I'm doing the whole thing with them, the whole recycle everything. And they said, "Oh, well, it won't be any good. It's not proper compost." I said, "But it will be in time."
Yeah, that's it. It just takes time.
And
it's so great for them to learn that from such a young age. Do you know what I mean? Because if you think about it, like big up to my mum and dad, like I love them, right? But they never obviously taught. They're not really gardeners. My dad gardens, sure, but he didn't really grow plants, and so I almost feel like I'm in a missed generation. Yeah. So if so obviously I've not learned about gardening. So there's been a lot of 30-somethings not teaching their children about gardening as much. But so we have to look at the children, because they're going to be, talk about my daughter, Olive, I want her to teach her kids about gardening, and it goes back on down there. So I sort of think we need to push that, That's going to save the planet.
And I think the way, I'm not trying to blow you on trumpet, but the way you do it is great, because you're not forcing it.
Yeah.
You're making it fun, so they're not even realising they're learning anyway.
Yeah.
In 15 years' time or 20 years' time, when she looks back, she'll remember how you sowed that carrot or tomato or whatever.
Yeah.
But she knows she's done it, but at the moment she doesn't realise she's learning.
That's it.
It's
and we've talked before, Stu, haven't we, about what you do with the kids at your school. Just give them the seeds and let them get on with it. And if they grow, then they grow. If they don't, if they've sown them wrong or at some time of year, then they're going to learn from that. I think that's. I remember you saying that once on the show, and I thought it was such.
So we got pumpkins. Pumpkins was planted last Thursday. Just to tell you how hot it is in our classroom, they're already 2 inches high.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, but I haven't got the heart to tell the children, because they've asked me to put them in the polytunnel, that they will die.
It's a long old slog until October,
because there's going to be a shock, because going from 26 degrees to 2.
Well, that is a really good point. That's one thing that we do forget is it's like us. Imagine, right? This is a good way of explaining it. Is if we're inside the house. My house is boiling at the moment. I'm walking around in a t-shirt. I wouldn't pop outside in a t-shirt, and it's a bit like a plant, isn't it? It's like if you're sitting in a t-shirt inside, it's going to want to be a bit warmer when it's put outside for a long time.
It's been fun the last couple of weeks, because I'm having 10 at the most 10 children at a time, and there's 2 of us, so it's just lush to get jobs done, But so if anybody's out there who's got quotes for me to get over tomorrow, I've got 20 minutes to sell what you and me do to everybody else.
Mate, you'll do it. Your passion is so strong. Also, I think do you know what I think with them sort of things is? Don't overthink it.
No, I've known for probably a month that my time's changed 3 times, and tomorrow morning, and I'm booked in at 9:40. I know it's not going to be till 10 o'clock because everything runs late.
Yeah.
So I will be nervous, but once I get going, I'll be fine.
Mate, just
You
rock
know.
in. Like this is the one of the things that I've learned, right? So sometimes there's say I'll do an interview and I'll get really nervous about doing it. And the ones that I do too much prep for, I always muck up.
Yeah.
The ones that I don't do much for is fine because my passion and the questions and everything comes out then. It's a bit like you. Oh, you'll be fine, man. I think good luck to you. Let us know how you get on, yeah?
I will. I'll let you know how we get on. But of course, we won't know I won't know because I only work till lunch. So,
yeah. Well, I just want to know how you felt you went.
Yeah. I'm sure we'd do fine. I'm sure the actual school will do fine. But I'll let you know how I feel. Well, I'll speak to you next week anyway. But I'll let you know.
Passion, mate. It will come out, mate. Don't worry.
If you see, big things on social media that I'm drinking heavily, you know it went past.
Okay. Well, good luck, Sue. We look forward to hearing how you got on next week.
Okay, mate.
Bye, man. Thanks for calling in.
All right, mate. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, I love Stu. Oh, good luck to him for that. He did mention that last week, didn't he? Well, hang on a minute. We didn't finish that song, did we? Cheers by the way, Suggs. Where's the music coming? Yeah. Right, yeah. So anyway, before I was rudely interrupted, you can call in tonight. 07. What is the phone number? 0742 357 4520. And now we're streaming on all the platforms. I don't know what happened there. If you put a comment in, ask me a question tonight. It's not all just this. This is not like Pirate FM. Well, it could be. It's Pirate FM, guys. It's Thursday night. Let's go. Oh! I'm available for weddings. When you're allowed a wedding. We've got actually loads to get through tonight. I don't know how we're going to get through it now. You can call in though, and we're welcome to call in. Right, 30 seconds. Brace yourself. It's like the best way to start the show. Hello, everyone. Even though we had Stu on, that is also a great way. 0742 357 4520 if you want to call in tonight, or you can click the link and actually be on the screen with me right about here, everyone. Richard says, I would want a child to learn that life, oh, here we go. Well, life isn't all fairy tales. Life is big. A big, hard slog, which will beat you until you're on your knees, and then will continue to beat you. Flip! Wow. Wow. There we go, kids. Wow. Shall we do right? We didn't do this at the start of the week, so I'm going to do it today. We'll give you the answer next week on the show. But our little about a little bit of Latin. Let's talk about the Latin. Let's talk about the Latin, everyone. Each week, I give you a Latin word from gardening for you. Yes, you, dear listener, have to try and guess. This one is a hard one. The past three have been pretty easy, I think, compared to this one. Tonight, I'm not so sure you're going to get it. Can't put it in the comments. If you want to tell me the answer, you have to either call in or wait until next week, until Monday. This week's Latin now, I'm going to pronounce this terribly, all right? Pisum sativum. Pisum space Sativum. Pisum. This is not how you pronounce it, but it's Latin, isn't it? Pisum sativum. What could that be? What could this week's Latin be? Pisum sativum. Latin. Let's talk about the Latin. Loads of questions to get through tonight. You can put yours in the comments if you fancy, if you don't want to call in. But first, we're going to do a quick question and answer quiz time, guys. Only 5 questions this week. So hopefully you've got a pencil and pen. You've not? Well, we do it every Thursday. So, come on, team. First question. Are you ready for the first question? Are you good? Are you ready for the first? You're not ready for the first question. Well, we do this every. I'll tell you what. I'll give you 1 minute to go and get a pen. All right. Then we must get on. Advert Lee here, saying hello. How you doing? Hope you're enjoying the show. Now, when you're walking down the street and you say, "Cool, mate, you're looking pretty cool. You must be wearing a t-shirt." Yeah, probably one of these. And you go, "Good t-shirt, mate. Good t-shirt." Well, tonight, I'm asking you to support the show by going, "Good show, mate. Good." Well, if you listen to the podcast, obviously you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm doing a thumbs up. "Good show, mate. Good show." And you can do it too right here by giving the video a good old thumbs up, a good old share to your mum, to your nan, whoever is your friends on Facebook or in YouTube or whatever, and go and subscribe. That's what you can do. If you're listening on the podcast, you can share the audio. But just share the show. It supports Lee more than anything. Thumbs up. Beto says, I wonder where Beto was. He said, Alexa doesn't understand your accent, Lee. That is a good cheat to try and work out that in Latin this week. Right. I hope you've got your pens and pencils at the ready. Only 5 questions this week, but let's see how you get on. Question number 1 is when you walk around, when you walk around, there are little shoots of green coming out of the grass. What flowers could they be? So if you're walking around the streets on your exercise, you might see little shoots, little spikes sticking out of the grass. What flowers could they be? Okay. Question number 2. Apples are from the rose family. True or false? Apples are from the rose family. True or false? Question number 3 is what is the liquid called in flowers that attracts bees? So what is the liquid called in flowers that attracts bees? I should be bingo caller. Question number 4. How can you tell the age of a tree? How can you tell the age of a tree? And then finally, question number 5 is the love apple is the original name for what? I think we might have had this question before, actually. The love apple is the original name for what? 5 questions there tonight, all of which I will tell you the answers at the end of the show. You can call in 0742 357 4520. Or did I put the link in the comments? I don't know if I did, actually. I think I was busy. I'll whack the links in the comments and you can zap yourself in tonight. One of the questions I got on the old social medias is from Sally. You talked about hedgehogs before, but my daughter 3 has never seen one. What can we do to attract them to the garden? We've talked about this quite a bit actually on the show, and easier tonight, says Stuart, for questions. Ooh, it's like it's a kids show. Hedgehogs. We've talked about it before. I absolutely love the hedgehogs in our garden. Although I've not seen them for a while. I think they've been sleeping. over winter. I don't blame them. It's too cold out there. There's a few ways that you can attract hedgehogs. And to be honest with you, Olive's coming up to 6 now. Wow. And only last year we really got to see the hedgehogs in our garden. They're really, you've got to be really lucky to be able to see them. And also you've got to go out quite late at night. Like I'm talking 10, 11 at night for them to even come outside. We had such a success with hedgehogs. Can I tell a story? Yeah, should tell a story. This is a warning. I know that some of you may have heard this story before. Last year, we chucked a bin bag, just chucked it on the floor. I'm just filling it up, and then we were going to chuck it in the wheelie bin, yeah? And it got to about 10 o'clock at night. I thought, I've not put the bin bag in the wheelie bin. So I went to go and picked it up. All of a sudden, rustling inside the bin bag. Not one, 2 hedgehogs had got in there. So as a warning, that is an official warning from Skinny Jean Gardener. Check your bin bags if you've left them out before binning them, because that could have been the end of them hedgehogs. And now they don't do it again. We won't let them. But to attract them into the garden, put a bin bag outside your back door. That's generally one way. But also, that was a joke, by the way. But also, hedgehog highways. We talked about them before on the show by cutting a hole in the side of the fence. It's a great way to get them between the gardens. We've all put these big fences up now, these big walls of, I don't know what we're trying to keep out, hedgehogs, obviously. So we need to make, that's it. Thanks, Stu. He's put one there. If you put a hole in the fence, it gives them a bit of a highway, a bit of a route to get between the gardens. It makes it really simple and really easy for them to be able to do that. So that is a great way. Also, giving them a home. There's a few. Just saying. I'm just saying. There's a great hedgehog hotel in there made of a plastic box. But if you just have an area of the garden as well that is just a little bit overgrown, a little bit of a place for them to hide up in, they'll love it. But if you do make the hedgehog home, put it up against the fence, because that's where they go. They always go up and down the fence. Cover it with logs, cover it with leaves, and over time you'll get hedgehogs in. Also leave them some water out. And there is, I know we're talking about a lot about hedgehogs now. There is some great hedgehog food which they love. Don't give them cheese. Not only is it not good for them, makes a mess of your patio. So it's true. So get some hedgehog food if you fancy it. You can feed them cat food, but I'm not really. We've got too many cats in our area. They'd probably eat it. So I'm not so keen on that. Yeah, see, Stu just said wet cat or dog food. I'm not. I'll be honest with you. I've not got a cat or a dog. 2, the actual makes me feel a little bit. Cat food makes me feel not great. Okay. Any other ideas for hedgehogs? I think mainly giving them a route is the best thing. Like making sure there's a route for them to get in between the gardens. You have to be friendly with your neighbours. So I had to I got Olive to ask my neighbour. He was very nice. He was like, sure, yeah. Yeah, make sure you do that. It's a great way to get them in. Hopefully over time. Although you will have to keep your 3-year-old up until about 10, 11 at night. So hope it helps. Claire asks, what is the best thing to get my kids growing? Oh, that's a good question. It doesn't have to be vegetables or so. I always say wildflowers. I always say that as an answer. I do think that, like I said to Stuart earlier, getting children at a young age, knowing how to grow their own food is a great way for them to be healthy in the future. Do you know what I mean? For us to know where our food is being grown, make it how it's made from that tiny little seed to an actual plant. So I don't know, Claire. It's a really tough one. It depends. It depends. You don't say how old your children are, so it's a tough one on that sense. If they're a little bit older, then it's a good idea to get the kids to, like, it depends really. Under 3s, I'm saying, yeah, you're going to have to think of something quite easy. Though under 3s know what they want. Claire, it depends if your child knows what it wants. Because if they're going to be growing something they don't love, then they're not going to care about it. If they don't like tomatoes, then they're just going to let it die. If I didn't like tomatoes, I'd be like, you think I'm going to look after that, mum, and then eat it? Forget about it. So it depends what they like eating. And I'd always start, I always say rule of 5, but I think I'll stick to rule of 5. I always say rule of 5, and they can be plants as well as seeds. So maybe start with 3 packs of seeds or 2 packs of seeds, and then 3 plants. I think buying plants are great. I think it's a great way to start growing. Make sure you get some success in the first year as well. Go to your garden centre. Amazing plants at your garden centre that will guarantee success from. So if those seeds don't really work out, you're all good. You got a couple of plants on the go. It's all good. Under freeze, Bello says under freeze. Oh, here we go. Grow cress as it's quick. Yeah, cress is a good one. Like, it's not a bad one. Cress, I don't mind as long as children eat it. I think is the big thing. As long as children eat the cress, that's great. If not, it's just something that, like them cress heads you get. They're super, aren't they? They're super fun. But I've had a few of them, and no one ends up eating cress, so it's pointless. It's great you're growing something, I suppose, but then you're not eating it and looking after it. So I don't know. It's a tough one. Things that grow fast are great, like radishes and cress. But again, if children don't like them, then yeah, they don't care about them. Kids grow well with cow dung in their shoes. Oh, Benno, where would we be without you, Benno? Right, let's stick to the ad breaks now. We're on dot and a half past. It's a quick 1 minute one, been at 1 minuter, and then we've got some more questions. Oh, God, this must have been written by J.K. Rowling, mustn't it? Oh no, by Lee, the Skinny Jean Gardener, How to Get Kids Gardening book. I tell you what, it's an absolute awesome read, and you should get your hands on it. It's on offer right now. Go click the link. You know. Go click the link in the comments or in the description. You get your hands on it. Let's see what people are saying. Oh, that Sam from Sam and Mark says, Lee's passion for gardening is infectious. Probably shouldn't say that word at the moment. It's not the best. In fact, you don't want to be saying you're infectious, because it's probably wear a mask around it, but it's that good. It's infectious. Go get your hands on one right now. Right now. We're at the end of the minute. Right now. And I've put a link in the comments if you fancy it. I'm doing a delivery on Monday. All right, team? I'm doing a delivery on Monday. Thanks to everyone that bought one from last Thursday to now. That's nice of you. I hope you enjoy it too. Let me know. Someone did a review. I think Michael did a review of the book, which is nice. Thanks, man. I've not retweeted it yet, but I will do. The phone lines are open. If you want to call in, it's 0742 357 4520. I did see someone shoot up in the studio bit to come on screen, but then he disappeared. So that's cool. You can call in if you fancy it. If that's better, if it's easier than showing you, it might be in your pajamas. I would be. Oh, it would be. But that's cool. Let's take a few more questions. Dan asked, what is mulch? Oh no, he's talking about, well, I suppose it is. I keep hearing people talk about it. I just don't know what it is. That's a good question. I think that might be in the book, actually. What a segue. Did I put that in? There's a load of questions in. Hang on. Oh, this one's seen better days. Hang on a sec. I put a load of questions. Did I put mulch in here? I didn't. I apologise for that, Dan. I didn't. What is mulch? It's a good question. It's a great thing to use to keep your beds warm. That's the thing. Like wood. So I've done this. Also, it keeps your bed warm. It rots down into your beds, so it can rot down as well. But also, it's a great one. If you get a lot of weeds, put a good old layer of mulch over it. You don't have to say it like that, but I like to say it mulch. Go proper Essex with it, mulch. Keeps those weeds down. So I've done it in my garden. I've got a nice layer of bark over one area under a load of box hedging, hardly get any weeds now. So good old thick layer, don't get me wrong. And another area, I've put a load of stones, like little tiny stones around the plants. Just keeps them weeds down, Dan. Just keeps those weeds down. But also, it's really good for your plants, keeps your plants warm, keeps that soil warm, and gets rid of those. Biggest thing, get rid of those weeds. You can use straw. I just have seen people use straw. I've seen people use grass, wood chips, stone. I suppose you could say slate is a sort of mulch. Not really. It's not quite the same as it. We're going into another sector there, but there we go. I hope that answers your question, Dan. Hey, what's this? Oh, good old Stu. If you haven't got a book yet, it's great for adults and children. It's only a tenner. Thanks, man. Cheers, dude. Right, I tell you what. We're halfway through. Oh, wow, tonight's show's going well fast. Thanks for joining me tonight. If you're enjoying it, give it a thumbs up. Let us know in the comments if you've got a question. We've got a few more questions tonight. I've got a challenge for you, team. That's right. I've got a challenge for you. Every Thursday, I come up with a different gardener make. And this week's gardener make is a little bit different. I'm not going to show you mine yet. One, because I've not made it. But I want to have a little bit of a competition with you, if you want. So from now, Thursday the 4th, is it? Yeah? All the way, maybe? What is it today? It is Thursday the 4th. From Thursday the 4th of Feb, all the way through to the 11th of Feb, I'm going to challenge you to create a garden wind chime with the kids. This is something I'm going to do. I've got a whole full-on day next week with Olive, right? And this is something I'm going to do with her. So we're going to get some bits that are going to make a bit of a clanging noise. Nice, don't get me wrong. So, like, we're going to get some old forks, some old spoons. We're going to decorate it. We're going to make it out of... actually, why am I telling you my ideas? This week's gardening challenge is to make the best wind chime. Now, some of you were great last time that I challenged you to do this. I've had some great photos come in as well of when we did the bug hotels. Thank you so much. Over the next week, I want to see a few. Don't have to be many, but a few of you send some photos to me on Twitter at Skinny Jean Guard, here on Facebook, Lee at skinnyjeangardener.co.uk. I'd love to see your photos of your wind chimes. And next Thursday, I'll bring mine in to show you. And then the comments will decide, or whoever calls in will decide on the winner. Does that sound cool? I think it's a great one for, one, recycling. It's a great one for recycling. Two, is a good one because also I quite like the idea of putting... I'm not going to tell you my ideas. I'm not going to tell you. Hey, look, Stuart said wind chime. Can get the class to make one next week. It's a great one for the kids to do. And do you know what? I don't think we've got a wind chime in our garden anymore. Ironically, the wind blew it off its hook and smashed. I challenge you. I challenge you to a wind chime off. How about it? It's a good one for the kids to do in the afternoon. So how about that? Right. Next question we've got is from Philippa. Thanks, Philippa. Hang on. We have got one. Beto says, do you know of anyone who has written a book on how to get kids gardening? I don't reckon there's anyone that's ever thought of, I don't reckon anyone's ever thought about that. Nah. Wouldn't have happened. No one would. This is an original idea. No way would anyone have thought. That's Tuesday's planning done. Stuart only watches just to see if he can get some school planning. It's a good one, Stu, I look forward to seeing yours. Send me some photos, mate. Right, Philippa asks, when should we be sowing? Oh, Philippa, you've opened a can of worms with this question. When should we be sowing our seeds? In fact, I just talked about this recently on another podcast that I did. I no, not controversial. It's everyone takes their own way with it. I think it's a bit early to sow seeds, to be honest with you, Philippa. I'm holding off. The urge to start sowing seeds now is so strong. Like, we want to get into it, right? We want to get into, and now, especially as February's coming along, January, you're sort of saying, that's the start of the year. As February comes into it, you're like, oh, yeah, February's here. Oh, I still think we should wait. Wait until March at least, Philippa, to be fair, you're not saying you want to sow seeds yet. You're just saying, when should I? Wait until March. In the March, if you can hold on that long. A lot more sunshine. It's coming. It will come, I'm sure. And we get a bit of warmer days. If you put them on the windowsill, I don't know what your windowsills are like, but mine, I know that usually I put all my seeds on the kitchen windowsill, and it's so cold on there. And the seeds are not going to grow unless you've got a classroom as hot as Mr. Jackson's, who called in earlier, who's got pumpkin seeds already coming up. I mean, yeah. Then I think wait. The other way of doing it, if you're that desperate to start sowing seeds, is to get grow lights. But it's something I've never really got before. I don't really, if you've got the money to do it, go for it. My personal opinion is wait. Just wait until the end of March. There's no rush. Best thing to do right now, sit down, talk about what you're going to be growing this year with a family, with your partner. See if they like it to begin with, because if they don't, then it's pointless, as I said earlier. And planning. This is the best time to start planning and finishing off those jobs. But before you start sowing, you want to finish off those little jobs in the garden, because seeds take time. They take care. Can't just chuck them in and leave them. If you're getting a lot growing, then you need to wait. Bella said, I'm getting ready to sow seeds. Peas, obviously. Is it too early for outdoors? It is it? I don't know if this is a question or not. Too early for outdoors, but maybe in the greenhouse, unheated. Yeah, see, I just think at the moment, if it's unheated, especially if it's unheated greenhouse, a bit like my windowsill, because we've got no heating really in the kitchen, they just get so... I am here, by the way, just got a phone call. Yeah, I know your ear sucks. Because I've got no real heating in my kitchen, it gets so cold in there in the evenings, and because they're not getting a lot of light and the soil's just staying cold, it just doesn't work. So you could always sow micro salad. Yeah, you could sow so yeah. Don't get me wrong. Depending on what... Crikey, do you hear that? Cats are going off outside, and a firework. I don't reckon you can hear that on the mic, can you? It's kicking off outside this shed. Don't get me wrong, there's loads of things you can sow, but the main seeds, I just hold off. It's a bit like we do Chili Friday. Beddo's weighing. We're doing Chili Friday. We were going to do it tomorrow, guys, but just holding off for one more week for Chili Friday. I just want to prep something for next Friday's Chili Friday. And we're going to sow some chili seeds next Friday. I would never sow chili seeds this early on in the year. But what we're going to do is we're going to sow them on next Friday. Put them on the windowsill. See how they go on. Then we're going to sow them end of March, when I personally usually would. And see the difference. See if there is any difference in the chilies that I sowed. Same chili seeds. Chilies that I sowed early Feb, to the ones that I'm sowing end of March. So watch that next Friday. If you're about, we're kicking it off. If you want to join that experiment, then please do. Bella says kicking off. Must be the hedgehogs. Probably might be. Michelle asks, is there a way to grow vegetables on £0? Oh, it's more than vegetable. We won't read the rest. But is there a way? Well, is there a way to grow in £0? Yeah, of course there's a way to grow in £0. There's it's just the seeds you need to get hold of, Michelle, more than anything. Which we've talked about this. I think we spoke about this last week on the show. Ask about It's the biggest thing. I was speaking to someone today about school stuff, and I'm like, we need to tell. Some schools are amazing, right? Some schools do it almost in secret. Doing gardening. Keep your voice down. We're doing some gardening. What? Why are we whispering? Don't tell the parents. Don't tell anyone. Some people don't ask, right? So you might have a neighbour like me. This week, I've had a saw out of my shed. Can't tell you, Michelle, if you live near me, how many seeds I'd be able to give you. Last year, I gave away so many seeds, and I've got so many more come March time, which I'll be leaving out the front of my house for people to come and get, because we've got so many still. Ridiculous amount of seeds still, which I just don't need. I just don't need them all. So ask about is the biggest thing. But see, if you could probably get some compost off someone as well to kick things really off. If you want to use soil, then you just use soil. So it's a good way to start. But ask around. If you've got a gardener down your street, bound to either have a little bit of compost to give you, especially if you're getting kids involved. We said this before, haven't we? If you're getting kids involved, just like I did with my neighbour and the hedgehog, I wait. Go on, Olive. Go and ask. Go on. Gardeners are a friendly bunch. We'll always be there to help you out. So there is ways. Yeah, sure, there is ways of doing it. You don't need a lot to get started. Like I say, you've got a windowsill. You can make pots. Go check out one of my videos. We did a whole show on recycling in the garden, just from stuff just in the junk. Maybe we'll do a little bit of that next week. Maybe I'll show you a bit of that next week as well. But mostly everything that I do, everything in this book, everything that I speak about, we're doing with recycled, upcycled bits and bobs. It doesn't have to be expensive. Let's have this last little ad. Can you believe it? We're almost at the end of the show. But if for me, I just want to say from Advert Lee that you can sponsor the show too. Support it however you want. The best way is to get in touch with Lee at lee@skinnyjeangardener.co.uk. And me, Advert Lee, will promote your product. A little bit like, here we go, this. It's a water bottle. And it holds water that you can drip. Let me show you. You can. It's not coming out. Why is it not coming out? There we go. Water in it. You can put on squash in it, or any liquid. It holds liquid. Water bottle. lee@skinnyjeangardener.co.uk. Oh, he must be good because I bought myself one. So thanks, Advert Lee. This week, and for the next couple of weeks, we're supported by Meet the Farmers podcast. This podcast that you're watching right now or listening to goes onto the Best Of podcast, comes out every Sunday. But Meet the Farmers podcast comes out every Monday. If you want to find out more about how your food is grown en masse and how it's the behind the scenes of how it's grown, then listen to Ben Eagle. We had him on the show on Monday. It was an awesome chit chat, but they are supporting the podcast over the next few weeks. So big up them. And next week, we're going to highlight a few of my favorite episodes over there. So go and listen to them over the weekend. Let me know what you think on Monday's show. Stuart says, by the way, 0742 357 4520. Got about 12 minutes left of tonight's show. Stuart says, Google your local allotment or gardening club. So true. I know. And this is something that I need to do next week. There's a gardening club in my town. It's called Culture Bloom. Give away where I live there. And they're a great crew. And I got involved with them about 2 years ago. I've obviously not seen them for a while. I've not been back in contact. I want to get back in contact with them. But they are such nice people. And I know that if you got in contact with your local gardening club or anyone like that and said, look, I'm thinking about getting my kids into gardening, you know, how can I do it? Have you got any material? You'll be inundated. You'll be kitted out. You'll be like walking down the street like Alan Titchmarsh, whatever he wears. I don't know what Titchmarsh wears down the street. Liz says, wow. Sorry, Liz. That was a bit of an overreaction, but Liz just said she's just got 2 plots, 2 allotment plots. Wow, Liz. You, wow. That is all. 1, that is awesome. 2, you are going to have a busy year this year. One other thing I do say, I don't know, Liz, if you're new to allotmenting, you've probably got another 5 allotments already on the go. But if you do start an allotment, I know there's going to be a few people that have been lucky enough to get allotments, and good on you. It's going to be the best time of your life. I miss my allotment so much. Like, honestly, so much. And I feel a bit sad thinking about. You have such a great time, but my biggest thing, if you've got an allotment, just one is be enough for me. I cover it in half. I literally cover half of it off with either cardboard or a membrane. Work on one half this year, and then slowly through the years, peel that membrane back, peel that back, and you can slowly work on that, because it does take time. There's a lot of weeding happens, especially to begin with. And if you're like me, end up with a plot full of couch grass, then there's a lot of pulling of couch grass out, which took a lot of time. So make it easy for yourself, and half the plot for the first year. Wendy, hello Wendy, how are you? Got all my pond plants off neighbours last year. Sharing is caring. So true. It's good to talk, isn't it? Right? It don't surprising what comes up in conversation. You might not even know that your neighbours are gardeners, like proper gardeners. They might be like secret gardeners with loads of seeds or loads of plants, like Wendy. And okay, we'll come to that comment in a minute. And yeah, if you're not friendly with your neighbours, guys, you could be missing out. Liz says, and this is Liz. Right, let me tell you the little story, Liz. It's being rotivated in the next month, hopefully. Right, cool. Right, don't do. Right. Right, depends what. Right. Right. Depends what the allotment's like. Right. My allotment, like I said, was full of couch grass. I didn't even know what couch grass was when I first started. Got a rotavator in, didn't I? Rotavated all the couch grass in. Made it a lot worse for myself. So much more weeding. So as long as there's not that on there, you should be all right. A rotavator does feel like a good thing, right? But sometimes just getting those memories of that couch grass back. Sometimes it makes more work for you. And you'll be crying like I was on my allotment list. But good luck. Well excited. Please keep in touch. I'd love to know how you get on, Liz. No weeds or anything. Just lots of mud. Oh, Liz, you got it good. You got it good down there. Rotivate away. How jammy is that to get 2 plots with no weeds on it? Rotivate away. Right. Oh no, Wendy's saying no dig. Well, if there's no, yeah, well, you got to get rid of. Well, now I see what you're saying, Wendy. Yeah, no dig. I'm no dig. Well, we talk about that on another show. I'm not getting earlier on. I asked you 5 questions. Hopefully, some of you I've got some of the answers, so I'm going to go before we finish tonight's show and tell you the answers to that. First question was, when you walk around, there are lots of shoots of green coming out of the grass. If you're going on your daily exercise, you might see loads of little shoots of shoots coming out of the grass. What are they? What flower could they be? The answer is, of course, daffodils, which each year seem to come up quicker and quicker, right? Question number 2 tonight was apples are from the rose family. True or false? True or false? And the answer is true. Question number 3 is, what is the liquid called in flowers that attract bees? And the answer to question number 3 is nectar. Then I asked you, how can you tell the age of a tree? You have to count the rings. Obviously, the tree has to be cut down for that to happen. But count the rings inside the tree. And then finally, just 5 questions tonight. The love apple is the original name for what? And the answer to question number 5 tonight is tomato. Put in the comments how you got on tonight. Did we get any 5 out of 5s? Did we get any 1s out of 5s? Got to be some, right? Do you know what? Wendy has said about no dig. It's a very good point. Because I've got quite excited when I saw that. Because I thought, yeah, you know. And I just got excited. I wonder if Liz has looked at no dig. I'll tell you what, Liz. We'll do a show. I'll tell you what. If you're about on Monday, if you head over to Ski Engine Gun page, we'll talk about on the brand new Good Mood Monday. We'll talk about no dig over there if you fancy it. Just before we vote with 8. Just before. I have too much work, to be honest with you. Okay. Oh dear. Right. What time is it? Oh, we've got 5 minutes still. Yeah, fantastic. That's great. Hey, let me know in the comments how you got on. 5 out of 5 for Mr. Jackson. I'll be terribly disappointed if it was not 5 out of 5. Mr. Jackson, you got 3 wrong. It's Jack Daniel. Next week on Thursday, we're not doing a quiz. Okay, we're going to play a game called 5 and 5, which is going to be a garden challenge to do in the morning if you've got kids, to play back to them. And in 5 minutes, I'm going to ask them to run out into the garden and find me 5 things. They have a minute each to get them going. So I know we're going to do it at 8 p.m. at night, but I thought if you play it back in the morning, it'd be a good one. We'll start at the start of next week's Thursday show for 5 in 5 if you're up for that. Right. Well, last question. Should we do one more question? Okay, one more last question. You can comment in the comments if you fancy it. As we wrap up tonight's show. It's been fun. Hey, thanks, Stu, for calling in earlier. You're very much welcome to call in. We are back tomorrow for the best of show, and then back on Monday from 8 p.m. here every night, 8 p.m. Chatting Gardening. Good Mood Monday. I'm looking forward to Good Mood Monday. Peter asks, I'd like to get my grandchildren gardening, but before COVID, I only saw them once a month, so we don't get much time together. What can I do? Well, that's actually quite nice, Peter. You get to see them once a month, which means that every time they come back, they'll get to see the plant grow. Definitely start growing from seed. In March, grow something from seed, and every month they can come back. You can look after it, sure, but that little bit of magic. I'm thinking about Liz's plot of mud. That little bit of magic every month to come and see Grandad and see how them seeds are growing, and every time just a little bit more. That's excitement, right? Like, I'm so excited about starting to sow, and I love that. Literally every morning I come down. This makes a really good one. Good idea. Sunflowers. Imagine being a child, yeah? Sowing a sunflower seed, which is super easy, yeah? And each time you come back to Nan and Granddad's, you get to see how big that sunflower's getting. Love it. And if you've got a couple of grandkids, get a couple of sunflower seeds and go make it a competition. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Love some sunflower. I know my daughter absolutely loves them. I let her down last year. And so I'll admit it. I let her down on the sunflowers because one, I forgot to sow them. Two, I decided to just chuck the seeds in the soil, direct sow them, and they didn't take. That was my fault. So I've got a lot of making up to do on the sunflower. The old sunflower count this year, but good one, Liz. Thanks for that comment. Yes, Stu. Stu makes a good point. I didn't mention this at the start of the show. He says, is it only me in the tin to win tonight? It is, Stu.
That's right, podcast fans. It's that time that everyone hasn't been waiting for. It's time for Tin to Win. To win. To win.
I should have mentioned that at the start of the show, but there's so much time if you want to call in, not tonight, but next week. Your name can go in the tin to win. It's sitting behind there. It's right here. Stuart's name tonight is going to go in because he... And at the end of February, I'm getting together an amazing prize, which I think I may have to, as soon as we come out of lockdown, I'm allowed to drive about, may have to deliver to whoever wins tin to win because it's getting big. I'm not paying postage. I'll just drive it. I won't come and say hello. I'll just leave it on the doorstep and run. But there you go. Oh, Stu says sunflower competition would be good in the group this year. Yeah, we could do that. We could do it. We actually Friday, Sunflower Sunday or something. I don't know. Anyway, hey, I can't believe this hour's gone so fast, team. Thanks so much. I'm looking forward to do a bit more garden homeschool next week. A few more ideas. Remember wind chimes. This week's challenge for you is to create an amazing wind chime. I'm going to be doing it with Olive next Thursday. I want to see yours. So send me a photo throughout the week. I might do Beddoes. But for now, look after yourself. Try and get outside. Get a good old walk in. Get out in the garden. And I'll see you tomorrow at 8. Much love. Facilia. Or Pacilia, if you just read it off there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm on.
Oh, I can't hear you, Anon. I've done something wrong with the thing. Anyway, elephant poo is what I got.
Good evening, Lee. How are you?
Great, mate. Your signal is always terrible, but I'm good, my friend. Excuse me. You got an allotment? When I go, don't put artificial grass on top of me, alright?
You're going to get composted, Lee.
Hey, Advert Lee here. Enjoyed the show? Good. You can listen to the best of episodes on the podcast every Sunday. That's right, Lee uploads it every Sunday, the best of podcast. So get out of bed, grab yourself a cuppa and pop in the headphones and you can listen to the best of the week. Or we have some absolute corkers. Go give it a listen. But from me, Advert Lee, and from Lee, see you next time. Bye-bye.
This is a Finley Gainer Gardener. Dotson.